My name is Nolan Sitz, and I'm an architect with Solomon Courtwell Benz. We're excited to present the refinements we made to 8009 164th Avenue for our second DRB meeting. As the architect, we're representing our client White Oak Realty and Ponsky Capital. It's been over a year since we last presented to the board, so for the next 7 minutes, we want to refresh your memory on the inspiration of the building, show the main design features, and go through design comments made at the last meeting and how we addressed them. Located at the intersection of 164th and 80th, our main residential entry is from the south, while retail and community are accessible from the east. In total, we have 217 units, 200 parking spaces spread across 8 floors. To bonus to 8 floors, we're proposing to dedicate 20% of the ground level towards open space in the form of a community room, bike room, dog walk, and Wi-Fi plaza. Architecturally, the design of the building was inspired by the topography of the Pacific Northwest and history of Redmond. We were interested in exploring a vertical amenity experience. Likening it to the Cascades, we wanted to create a climb that linked amenity spaces, units, and provided a place for residents to gather, socialize, and relax. The elevations were inspired by Redmond's first public library, the Nokomis Club, a social and literary group started in the early 1900s that is still active today. We were fascinated with different library arrangements, how stacks were organized and visually paired as you walk through the center aisle. We are also interested in how books can be arranged on a shelf. Some are wider and taller, while others are shorter and skinnier. In some cases, you can see a cascading effect in elevation. We thought this could be a great analogy for our units. Living rooms are always at the corners of our buildings and want larger windows to bring in more natural light, while bedrooms are located in the center of the plan and want smaller windows so that it feels more private and comfortable. When you look at the elevation overall, you get a cascading effect. Not only does this work well functionally for the spaces inside, it also begins to create an architectural pattern on the outside. Backing up, we wanted to walk you through the massing of the building and how we arrived at our final shape. We started with a U-shaped courtyard that faces south, stepped the building plan in to create view opportunities out, and then stepped the courtyard in elevation to create our cascade and vertical amenity experience. This is the evolution and how the diagram translates into architecture. You can see the bookshelves on the left and right as they step back into the courtyard, and the cascading terraces as they go down from level 4 to 2. We also push the ground floor in on the left and right, allowing the residential entry to stand proud. Programmatically, we're proposing work-live units, a residential lobby, and a two-story outdoor Wi-Fi plaza along 80th. While on 164th, we're showing retail, community meeting room, bike room, and a covered paw park for neighbors to use in inclement weather. We met with the design review board last year on August 8th of 2020. Overall, they were very supportive of the cascading courtyard, the 20% dedication of open space at the ground level to add an 8th floor, and the likening of elevations of Redmond's first public library, the Nokomis Club. Specifically, they were supportive of all three ADFs at DRB1: balcony reduction, modulation, courtyard width. Architecturally, they thought the south and east facades were very organized and put together well, while the north and west need a little more refinement. This shows you before and after shot of each elevation. For the remaining slides, we'd like to walk you through each elevation and comment point by point. This is the south elevation. Before is on top and proposes on the bottom. The elevation of the wings stayed the same while the courtyard evolved into more intimate terraces. This allows for larger groups to gather and relax in these beautiful spaces. The building is made up of two primary materials: a gray fiber cement with a wood-like material that's used to accent the building. In the center, we're proposing a treated wood to run up the cascades. These are real pictures of the materials we're specifying how we expect them to look. At the courtyard, we're proposing 5 levels of terrace organized around a central staircase. The ends of the cascades are reserved for more intimate seating groups with shrubs, small trees, and assortment of furniture to soften the space. At the top of the climb is the main amenity deck, which is intended to be used for larger gatherings. This is an aerial perspective looking down at that space. Moving on to the east elevation, the DRB liked the side of the building, but asked us to study the relationship of windows to interior units. We kept the organization the same, bay, balcony, bay, but are proposing to invert the materials as it transitions better with the south and north elevations. Looking at the southeast, you can see the wood turning the corner as it comes around to the main elevation. Moving on to the north elevation, the board asked us to pay more attention to the planning of units and refine the facade. We simplified the window patterning, distilled it down into two massings with a center balcony that playfully jumps from one end to the other. Thin wood lines break down each mass into several different bays, giving the elevation some much needed scale and refinement. Lastly, we enclosed the garage to screen it from our neighbors. We think it's a great improvement and is much more in line with the rest of the design. They also asked us to look at the west elevation, specifically the base of the building, incorporation of balconies, and the rhythm of the west facade. We added balconies to units and stayed true to the planning of the building, which helped to create a more interesting facade. At the base, we're proposing heavy joint lines with a vertical green trellis at the southwest corner of the lot. Looking at the location of the adjacent office building, we thought a majority of the wall would be screened from the public realm and didn't need a lot of work. We dashed in the location of the existing office building in red so that you can see. The last comment we heard was about the massing of the building and the scale of the west wing as you come down Larry Way. In our refinements, we're proposing to reduce the massing from 7 to 6 floors and create a 2-story REIT at level 1. We're also pushing the building back. At level 1, we're 22 feet away while the typical floor plate is 18, enhancing the pedestrian experience. Setting this first and second floor in helps tremendously in reducing the scale of the west wing while accentuating the residential lobby. In this last section, we wanted to walk you through our updates to the building. This is the evolution of our 2-story outdoor plaza. We have 2 columns coming down from the building with 2 large integrated furniture planters. The planters are tied together with a soft curve. This is the updated view of the ballpark that's open to neighbors and gives them a semi-protected area to walk when it's raining. Lastly, we wanted to update you on the plans we're proposing at the top of the building. We're showing a 2,000 square foot indoor and outdoor amenity space. Architecturally, the building was set back at the top level, giving residents some great views back to downtown Redmond, the Cascades, and Mount Rainier. This concludes the refinements of our project. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing your feedback.